Welcome to TPM Vid's Disney Beat, where we talk about all things Disney. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon to be notified when we upload a new video. We also have Instagram and Twitter. You can find us at TPM Videos.
Welcome to Andy's Backyard.
If you grew up watching the Toy Story films, you're gonna love shrinking down to the size of a toy and exploring the new 11-acre Toy Story land at Disney's Hollywood Studios. It's really cool taking a look back at the model to finally see it all come to life in person. Everything is oversized and highly detailed, from the used popsicle sticks and train tracks that make up benches, right down to the bolts of the Slinky Dog coaster. Toy Story Land looks great during the day, but it also offers a much different vibe at night, so it's definitely worth experiencing both. With a brand new land, there's many new additions, from rides to food to entertainment to changes made to existing attractions. So today we'll give you a complete guide to the new land as we tour the area and count down the top 10 new Toy Story Land rides, attractions, and experiences. Number 10. Towering Toys. It wouldn't be Toy Story Land without the characters from the movies. And as soon as you approach, you're greeted by this 20-foot tall Woody figure, and he definitely towers over the land. Just beyond Woody, you'll also find Jessie and Rex, and there's a giant 14-foot tall Buzz Lightyear statue in front of alien swirling saucers. When you look at the model of Toy Story Land, it's really deceiving how small Buzz looks, but in person, this figure is actually huge. I mean, it's a giant Buzz Lightyear toy. Now, although the figures aren't animatronics and don't move, the fun thing with them is that they still come to life with their voices. One of my personal favorites was Buzz in Spanish mode.
Yo le mostraré a ella las maravillas de la galaxia y juntos derrotaremos al malvado Emperador Zurg.
Why do I get the feeling I was just in Spanish mode?
Number 9. Character Entertainment. The Green Army Men used to be seen wandering Pixar Place, and they're back in Toy Story Land, but now they actually talk. The Green Army Men patrol the backyard, interacting with guests, and although they don't formally have a meet and greet, they will stop to sign autographs and take pictures. The Green Army Men also provide the land's entertainment, with one of the acts being the Green Army Drum Corps. There's also an interactive game of Sarge Says, where Sarge leads the Green Army Men through the land, playing games and looking for new recruits.
If I say Sarge says salute, but no, I know, we not actually started as you were.
They definitely create a fun atmosphere in Toy Story Land. Now, during Extra Magic Hours in the morning, there's a good chance you'll get to see some characters like Jessie, Woody, and Buzz roaming the land while it's not too busy. Then once the crowds pick up, you can expect to find them doing meet and greets in the area. Number 8. Name Change. The highly popular and competitive interactive 4D ride has officially dropped midway from its name and has become just Toy Story Mania. Since about 2014, Disney stopped using Midway when referring to the ride, even though the sign in Pixar Place still read Midway Mania. But I gotta say, I really love the cardboard detail on this new marquee sign. Now, even though the name slightly changed, the ride experience has remained the exact same. Although this would have been a perfect opportunity to introduce some new games. Going into Andy's room to play with the Midway Games playset never fails to entertain, and it's always fun to see how many points you can actually rack up. So with that said, what's your highest score on Toy Story Mania? Leave a comment below. Number 7. Take a Rest. Now, the restrooms in Toy Story Land are no Tangled restrooms, but they're definitely themed. The area is built up with wooden blocks, Scrabble pieces are used for the sign, and giant cooties linger around the entrance. A nice little detail are the letter blocks that hold up the roof. They actually spell out boys on one side and girls on the other. And this restroom area is one of the spots where you can find a water fountain. Overall, the land is extremely open and has very little trees to create shade, so it does get very hot under the Florida sun. Disney's placed water stations along the pathways, and there's also been temporary umbrellas set up to create some more shade. It'll be interesting though to see if these water stations and umbrellas become more permanent. But my advice is to bring lots of water, sunscreen, and a hat when you explore Andy's backyard. Number 6. Winding Paths. With relocating the entrance of Toy Story Mania from Pixar Place, there's a brand new queue for the ride with some really neat outdoor sections. This area looks especially great at night. The lighting highlights a lot of the detail. Now, Toy Story Mania is the only ride in the land with an air-conditioned queue, so it is a good place to go and cool down. The indoor queue is very similar to what was there before, but now it feels a lot more intimate, and there's still a lot in there to keep your eyes occupied. Another new change is the ride's exit. When exiting the ride vehicle, you now go to the right as opposed to the left. Then you're led into a long corridor that passes through the temporary entrance they were using before Toy Story Land opened. Once you're down the hallway and finally out of the building, there's another long path outside filled with lots of foliage, green army men, and oversized toys. Walking through it for the first time, I was pleasantly surprised at the length and how secluded the path actually felt. Number 5. Guess Who's Back? Although this is part of the Toy Story Mania queue, the Mr. Potato Head animatronic deserved his own spot on the list.
You can call me Mr. Potato Head.
When the ride opened in 2008, the animatronic was always part of the queue, but in December of 2015, Mr. Potato Head was actually removed when they built the third track. Until the opening of Toy Story Land, he hadn't been seen for 2.5 years, but he's back looking better than ever. Disney hadn't released any information about Potato Head until late May of 2018, so before then, it was really uncertain if he would even return.
Folks, I'll give you a hint. This is the part where you clap. Thank you, thank you. Hey, look, a standing ovation. You should have.
Now, if you plan on using a Fast Pass for this ride, just be aware that you'll miss this animatronic since he's placed in the standby area of the queue. Mr. Potato Head is a highlight of the ride, and in my opinion, it's worth going standby just for this one animatronic alone. Number 4. The most important meal. Serving breakfast and lunch, Woody's Lunchbox is the new quick service restaurant in the land. And I gotta say, this is probably one of the better quick service restaurants at Hollywood Studios. Not only does the area look great with all the details including the clever umbrellas and chairs, but the food is also delicious. Now, the downfall of Woody's Lunchbox is that the area is pretty open and exposed to the sun, and there's only 2 windows to order food. It is set up though for mobile ordering, so that can help cut down on the waits. Now, the breakfast menu looks a little something like this, and I tried the smoked turkey breakfast sandwich and the breakfast bowl. The smoked turkey breakfast sandwich had Swiss cheese, green peppers, and scrambled eggs. With the toasted buttered bread, it gave the sandwich a lot of flavor. It's a nice light breakfast item. Next was the breakfast bowl, which I was pleasantly surprised with. It's a base of tater tots topped with scrambled eggs, brisket country gravy, and green onions. The country gravy definitely won me over on this one. And who said you can't have dessert for breakfast? So I also tried a raspberry tart. The pastry had a similar taste to a Pop-Tart, and the inside was filled with raspberry jam. Overall, it was really sweet, but really good. So I'd highly recommend trying breakfast at Woody's Lunchbox. Number 3. The Lunchbox Lunch. Moving on over to lunch, this is what the menu looks like, and I tried the barbecue brisket melt, the Monte Cristo, the tachos, and for dessert, the chocolate tart. So the brisket melt had shaved brisket with barbecue sauce, pickles, and cheddar and jack cheese. It was good, but my favorite was definitely the Monte Cristo sandwich. To start things off, the bread was French toast with a hint of cinnamon. I mean, who doesn't love French toast? Then inside there was smoked turkey, ham, raspberry jam, Dijon mustard, and Swiss cheese. Out of all the breakfast and lunch food, this was the best thing I tried. Lastly were the tachos, and if you like loaded nachos, then you'll definitely like these, but instead of tortilla chips, the base is just tater tots. And for dessert, the chocolate hazelnut tart had a rich and creamy chocolate filling, topped with some candied bacon. And who said bacon couldn't be dessert? If you've already tried the food at Woody's Lunchbox, I'd love to know what you thought, so comment below. Number 2. Alien Swirling Saucers. We already posted a full POV of alien swirling saucers, so you can check that out, but my biggest tip for the ride would be to ride at night so you can get the full effect of the lighting. The queue sort of reminded me of the queue for Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger spin at Magic Kingdom, but a good chunk of it is exposed to direct sun. It gets very hot in the queue, but there are plenty of fans in the area as well as a water fountain. In terms of the actual ride, this specific ride system was patented by Disney and is a unique take on the classic Whip ride. It's exactly like Mater's at Disney California Adventure, and it's honestly a lot of fun. The ride whips you from side to side as you travel between the 4 different carousels. And if you're wondering how the ride system works, well, there's a large pit below the platform where the ride shaft of the vehicle slides into. Once your alien spins and meets an empty slot, it switches to the next carousel and whips you around. I do think they missed the opportunity to make the claw actually move, but either way, Alien Swirling Saucers is a welcome family-friendly addition to the ride lineup at Hollywood Studios. Number 1. Slinky Dog Dash. The newest coaster at Walt Disney World is Slinky Dog Dash. There's already a full POV on the channel, so you can check that out, but I'm going to touch on a few other points. I think they did a really good job at making this coaster look like it's made out of this toy coaster kit, complete with the power booster, which, by the way, looks really cool at night. Slinky Dog Dash is an exposed launch coaster, but it's not an off-the-shelf coaster. This layout, which includes 2 launches, was designed specifically for Disney and is an original ride. There's nothing off the shelf about it, aside from it being categorized as a roller coaster. It's an extremely smooth ride, and in terms of intensity, I'd say the coaster is more intense than Barnstormer and Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, but less intense than Big Thunder Mountain. It feels much faster than it looks, but if you want a more intense experience, definitely sit in the back, and if you want a tamer experience, sit in the front. Now, if you're curious about the speed, I've heard lead cast members toss around the number of a top speed of 40 miles an hour, which apparently happens after the second drop. I've also seen a lot of people ask about the seats, and I can say that there's a lot of room in them, and they're a similar size to the seats on Expedition Everest. In terms of the Slinky Dog queue, this has another large area that's not covered, but again, there's lots of fans and a water fountain to help cool you down. And there's tons of hidden secrets and Easter eggs in the queue and in the land that we'll discuss on the next Disney Beat episode. Overall, the ride is exactly what Hollywood Studios needed, a family-style thrill ride. A nice added touch was the Wheezy animatronic, and it's the perfect way to end this Disney ride. Toy Story Land really makes you feel like a kid all over again, and it's a lot of fun regardless of your age. So, have you had the chance to visit Toy Story Land yet? What are your thoughts and opinions on this new land? I'd love to know. Leave a comment down below to start a conversation, and don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. If you have any videos from the Disney parks that you'd like to share with us to be used in future videos, follow the link in the description below. Thanks so much for watching. Click the TPM icon on the screen to subscribe to this channel, and check out some of these other videos which we're sure you'll like.